Hi guys, so I just wanted to record this video to go over some of the things that I learned in the last week. So the previous week was probably the one of the busiest weeks I had in terms of sales calls that I took, right? The new sales call that I took, and I had like 15, I think I had like two sales calls every day. That is how my week really went. Apart from Wednesday, I think I didn't have any testing. Uh, so yeah, that was pretty. I had like a busy week in terms of sales. I took a lot of sales call and appointment setting. So most of my lessons are related to that. So I learned a lot in terms of that. I One of the important things that I realized was to when you're asking prospects questions, you can ask them like there's a closer framework that Alex Hermosi talks about, right? Which is basically like clarifying why they're there. C. L stands for yeah, so labeling them with the problem, that is L, and O stands for uh, the okay. It's basically the premise is that you have to understand their problems and then you have to articulate them that particular problem so that they feel like they're understood, right? And once you've done that, you basically ask them what have you tried in terms of marketing to solve this particular problem, and then you ask them something, then you take a commitment, because if you've read Influence by Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about commitment. That is like a psychology principle that humans are usually uh, tried like the consistency, commitment, tendency, right? So if they commit to something, they tend to be consistent with that. So I try to take commitment from people. So if have you not tried anything, okay, no worries. So if a solution like this were to come to the market, which would solve this particular problem that you kind of found out about the problem that they're struggling and why they jumped on a call with you in the first place. Once you figure that out, then you will be asking them that particular question. If a solution were to come in the market that would solve this particular problem with you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would they you to be buying, right? And it's very likely that they're going to say like something like 8 or 10, right? So once you have taken that commitment, then you can jump onto your story, right? Then you can jump onto like what your story is. You can tell them a story. But by the way, if you want to learn about how you can create your own story, because stories are a super important thing, and I recently learned the importance of them from the program that I'm in, RSC program that I'm in. And once you kind of figure that out, after that, you will be taken to the final stage of the process, right? Where you basically show them the system and you have to show them like this is very important. I still don't understand this very much, but I think understanding this is super important. Now, I'm sure you heard it many times. You have to sell the vacation, not the plane ticket. And the way I am currently showing them the system is that I'm going into the technicality, showing them how we operate and how I can help them get the clients. But uh, I was recently watching Alex Hermosi's video regarding sales, and he talks about like he gives practical examples as to how you can sell the vacation instead of the flight ticket. And I would recommend you guys watch that. You can just type in Alex Hermosi sales training, and it will show up something like. So once you do that, uh, I think I think it would be easier for you to kind of make them say yes. It would be easier for you to make them say yes, because when you're like just mentioning the features, when you're selling the plane ticket, that just looks like work for them, right? And that is not why most people buy. So once you like sell the plane ticket, that is like I think it was the S of the closer framework, CLOS, where E oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. So E is basically E is nothing but like if they have any objections, you basically take the objections after you have shown them the system. You basically go for the close. So that is E, and R is like reinforcing their decision after they have bought from you. So yeah, that is basically the closer framework. And that is how that works. And once you have figured out a way to kind of not memorize this, understand this, because uh, the only two things that you can really memorize is the stories that you tell the prospects, because as humans we are uh, very much driven by stories, and the way for you to sell the vacation is also very much, and handling objections is to kind of, these two are the things, the stories and the objection handling are the only things that you have to really remember, because, and you don't have to remember like word to word and kind of read the script, because that just looks monotonous and doesn't look real, because we, as humans we can easily sniff that out if we are just reading a script or something, right? So once we kind of do that, I think we level up as a salesperson. And I've been trying to implement the things that I learned like day by day. That is what I've been kind of focusing on doing. So yeah, that was basically a closer framework, and I think that is like a really good thing to keep in mind. And I also, I mean, the more I do the outreach, the more I think that calling the people as soon as they respond with anything that is not a no, that may be like you drop your offer and they respond with something that's not a no. The best thing that you can do is call them, right? Because even if you're recording a video or kind of, recording like a voicemail, it is not as effective as calling them. And I am literally going to buy something to kind of call the people from India, because I cannot do it like that. But I'm not sure if I'll be able to get a US number when I'm. So I'm basically trying to do from Skype. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that because I haven't been getting as many people as I could if I think if I were to actually call them as soon as they responded, right? And that's practically not possible because of the time zone difference. But I think if I'm able to call them, if I call them to schedule the meeting with them, that will increase the meeting booked rates drastically for me. So yeah, that has been like such a big takeaway. But I'm just struggling to find a way to invest in something like that, because I know that is something that is bottlenecking my appointment setting process right now. Not calling them and relying on things like relying on like closing appointment from a DM. That is super hard to do, super hard, right? So that is like one of the major takeaways that I had this week, and I'm literally going to buy something next week. So you're not going to be hearing me complaining about that. So yeah, that was like some of the takeaways. Let me see if I have anything else to share. Oh yeah, and also I was also watching this video the other day, and they're basically sharing lessons from billionaires. And one of the things that Peter Thiel, I think he's a billionaire, and he shared that when you're just starting out, you have to start with a niche market. You can't just go too broad. You have to start with a niche market and become the best at that particular serving that particular audience. You have to become number one at that particular niche. Like Amazon started selling books and they become the best at the book selling, and then they expanded. So it is much easier to do that, and it is much better to do that. It is much a wiser thing to do that. And so yeah, that is one of the takeaways. Another takeaway was that from that particular video, as far as I remember, was that when you are okay, I keep forgetting what's wrong with me. I fucking remember now. So the takeaway was that you many times, and I've seen myself kind of do this, we come up with a hypothetical product that we would think our market would want, right? And we kind of try to force that upon the market, instead of listening to the customer and listening about what they actually want and doubling down on that, instead of thinking that okay, the market might want this because I think the market want this, because market doesn't care about what you think, right? They only care about what they want. And if you double down on the what the market actually wants, you will make more money than you ever have, right? And then again you can expand and things like that. So that was it. Hope you enjoyed.